Hi, I'm Kim. I'm an artist from Hebden Bridge and I'm going to be showing you how to do a line wire portrait using pencil and wire. So I'll just show you a finished example, okay? And I'll just talk you through the materials that we're going to use. So first we need a sheet of paper. I've chosen this size, but you could choose slightly smaller or bigger, it's up to you. Masking tape. We need some wire, that's reasonably thin wire. I've got 2 pencils, good idea to have 2 just in case one breaks, and a pencil sharpener, a pair of scissors, and just a tiny bit of blue tack. And you mustn't forget to have a mirror because you need to see yourself as well. I've got mine set up already, but it's opposite me so you can't see it. So make sure you have all those materials ready and then we can get going with our warm-up. So we're going to do a blind drawing now, and it's just a warm-up technique, and it's very much like doing exercise. You always have to limber up a little bit, so it's not about getting a final drawing that is really finished and perfect. It's about experimenting and having fun. So it's very loose and playful. So I've got a couple of examples I'm going to show you here from what I'd done yesterday. Okay. So I'll explain how I did this in a minute, and I've also got a lovely example of a drawing from Hattie, who is age 10, just to show you the difference. Okay, so there's no right or wrong in this, it's just about having fun. Right, so we're now going to do a blind drawing, which is just an experiment where we don't look at the paper, we just look in the mirror. So I've got my mirror set up opposite me, and I'm going to use a pencil just on the page, and I'm going to draw for about 30 seconds. The idea is to do something really quick so we're not thinking too much. And now normally I am right-handed, so that's my stronger hand, but I'm going to use the opposite hand. So I'd like you to all use your opposite hand so you feel a little uncomfortable doing it, but it means that you're going to be a bit more experimental. So just 30 seconds, really quick, get as much information down as you can, but make sure you're looking at yourself in the mirror and not at the page as much as you can. Okay, brilliant. So have a look at that and see what you think. So I'm just looking back at the quick drawing that I did, and it is quite funny when you look at it. It doesn't look anything like me, but it doesn't matter. But what's really interesting is I have managed to get the eyes in and a nose and a mouth, but it looks a bit more like a Picasso drawing. So it's an impression of a portrait. It's not actually a finished portrait, but that kind of style is what we're going to do in our next experiment with our usual hand that we use. Okay, so now we've warmed up with our opposite hand that we normally use. We're going to use our more dominant hand, so mine is my right hand. We're going to do the same thing, so it's a blind drawing again, so we just look in the mirror, try not to look at the page. And I think the key of this is if we do it really quick each time. So we just did 30 seconds. We're going to try one for 15 now. So in 15 seconds, try to get as many features in as you can and make it look a bit like a face as much as you can. Okay, and the quicker you do this, the better you will get. Okay, so I'm just going to make a start. Okay, so let's just have a little look at the drawing. So 15 seconds, and I've actually managed to get the features in and it looks a bit more like a face than the first one, which is interesting. I think it's really important to experiment with the time, and maybe when you've done a couple of these you can play around with time, maybe see if you can do a drawing in 5 seconds, and when you have a collection of different drawings you'll notice how good you get at getting all of the features in one drawing, and it's just a really good way to warm up and to make sure that you've made a portrait in a fun and exciting way and a bit different to normal. I'm just going to show you the wire portrait that I showed you at the very beginning, just as a quick reminder of what we're going to be doing next. Okay. So that's a finished one. I'm going to show you how we're going to do this next. So you'll need to get a piece of paper and a pencil again, and this time you're allowed to look at the page, so keep looking in the mirror too to get your image, but you're not allowed to take the pencil off the page. So as you can see here, it's quite simple, simple line, but I just started here and I moved around the edge of the face, and then in order to get some of the features in, I've cut across the nose and had to kind of go around the eye and join the features together as best as I can. You might take a few goes to get something that you like, but just keep trying and do a few experiments, but don't take the pencil off the page. Okay, so we're going to make our line drawing out of wire now, and what you need is a length of wire. I've made mine about that long. You can make it as long as you like. So I've actually twisted 2 together because it's quite thin, this wire, but yours might be thicker, so you decide what you need to do. It's quite wobbly. What you need to do is to join it together at the top, and then I'm just twisting it around and it joins really nicely together. Okay, so you just want to twist it, so leave plenty to twist. So you've got a circle there. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get a little bit of the masking tape, and I'm just going to stick the top of the wire onto my drawing, because I'm going to try and get that shape as best I can. But remember, it's just an impression of your drawing, it doesn't have to be exact. And you might want to put a bit more tape around it to hold it down. Or, if blue tack is easier for you, I'll just show you how that works. Okay, I prefer masking tape, but it depends on what paper you've got. Okay, so then we want to start moulding the shapes so you can get an impression of the drawing underneath. Okay, so it's hard to know how long to cut the wire. You can move this off the line. And you can just have a play with that until you get a shape that you're happy with, which is this one here. Okay, so that's going to be at the bottom there. I've added another line for the hair. And what I've chosen to do is look at different features from this drawing and a collection of the other drawings. I've chosen a mouth. I've just done one eye and a nose. Done it in exactly the same techniques that we've just done, using masking tape again to go over shape. So I've got the mouth off there. The difference on this one is I've left a length at the end. Okay, so it's a tiny bit longer. And the reason for that is so it attaches to the face. I'm just going to talk you through this. So if we put the mouth in position, and then you can add it. And again, don't worry too much if it starts moving around. It's a bit like our line drawing. Nothing's exact, and it actually looks quite fun when you've finished. You can always move it if you're not sure on the position, because it's wire and it moves. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to attach the nose now. So again, we've got a nice longer piece of wire, and that's so we can attach it to the outer bit of the face. So I've managed to do a bit of hair here, so I'm just going to pop it in there and twist it around a couple of times. If for some reason you feel that you've not got enough wire at this stage, you can just cut another piece and twist it back on, because it works really well by twisting it back to each other, so it doesn't ever matter if you've not quite got the right length. Okay, and obviously if you've got too much, you can chop So you can wiggle around and reposition things when you've got everything in place. And I'm now going to add the eye. Okay, so I'm going to do it from just one side. Okay, so it does actually look a little bit like some of our line drawings, particularly the continuous line one, with all of the extra lines joining bits together. Okay, so you just twist that, make sure that it's not poking out or anything so you scratch yourself. And then we've finished our little wire sculpture. I'm just going to put it there. Okay, so it's really lovely to look at the finished pieces together actually. So although I'd done that one previous and then doing this one, they're quite different, but it's really nice to see them overlapping the drawing. So maybe you could do that at home too. And if you wanted a bit more of an extension activity, just get a little bit more wire and do a little bit more detail, or make the wire structures a little bit thicker. So just have a play. And I hope you've really enjoyed yourselves, and look forward to seeing you again soon.